I'm just here to share my story. I do believe that I'm a leader and a lot of people look up to me.
Welcome to the Beauty and You podcast, a safe place created for all women to come relax. Join us as we dive into the true meaning of rediscovery through inspiring guests and topics such as healing, self-love, and creating a positive mindset. So sit back, relax, and get comfortable as we dive into this week's episode. Here's your host, Chi Quita Mack.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Beauty and You podcast. Matter of fact, welcome to season 4 of the podcast. This season is absolutely amazing. We have some awesome women who are here to share their story, and we're starting with the number 1 doctor in the DMV. Welcome, Mama. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Before we dive into our whole life story, I feel like we've been talking so much off camera. I'm like, we got to bring it back on camera.
Yes.
Tell the audience a little bit more about yourself.
Well, my name is Dr. Arlene Asante. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a woman. I'm a kind, sweet person. I'm empathetic. I'm a trailblazer. I'm a leader. I'm a woman of God.
Yes.
I'm a woman who strives for excellence in everything that I do. But just on a practical level, I am a business owner. I have a dental office in Bethesda, Maryland, that I have been there for about 3 years, but I've been practicing dentistry about 6.
Okay.
My family's from Ghana. I'm number 4 of 5 children. And yeah, I'm just here to share my story. I do believe that I'm a leader and a lot of people look up to me. But I would not be here, of course, without God, but also just people that I call them destiny helpers that came along and kind of poured into me through podcasts, through mentorship, through just personal development, or just those small conversations that you have on the side with people that empowered me and inspired me to be where I am today. So I'm grateful.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I believe that we are a product of our experiences, good, bad, and different. We kind of needed those to get us where we are today. We have a story to tell. I told you before, I could probably write like 3 books and have a lifetime series with my story. But I want to know more about your story from the beginning and how that shaped you.
Okay, I will say that, wow, there's so much.
Pick a spot, pick a spot.
I know. I would say when I was 13 years old, there was a lot going on in my personal life. I was becoming who I am today. I am from Ghana, so I came from a very conservative background. My parents were very strict and very just hands-on. They wanted to make sure that I become very successful. Back then it was very tough, but now looking back, I'm so grateful for that system they created for me. So when I was 13 years old, kind of trying to figure myself out. My father gave me and my siblings braces. Not knowing that getting braces was like the biggest thing for me. I met my doctor, who's Dr. Scott, who's actually still practicing dentistry in Silver Spring, and full circle. Now he's my colleague.
That's awesome.
I refer to him. We talk about dentistry, so it's crazy. But at 13 years old, I didn't know what I wanted. But when I went to the dentist's office, I fell in love. I had really bad teeth back then. You can't even imagine that.
They're perfect now.
Right? So that whole experience really put a really big impression on me, and it's something I couldn't shake. I wanted to know more about dentistry. So from the age of 13, I knew I was going to be a dentist. And, I remember one day coming to my dad and say, "Dad, I'm going to be a dentist." And, African man, he's like, just go to school.
Yeah.
He's like, just go to school, do something, But I feel like once you speak a thing, the atmosphere, the universe moves things in that direction for you to achieve it. But there's also adversity as well. So I did experience a lot of adversity throughout my life, but I feel like that little small voice at 13, it was something about that I could not shake, and I had no plan B. And I did a lot of other things throughout my career getting to this point, but I just could not shake dentistry. And I'm just going to share this. You know, I applied to dentistry about 2-3 times.
Right. Yeah.
And I could not let it go.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful because the blessings that I have now, it was really, you know, adversity that was trying to stop me from getting here. Yeah. And I have so much more to do, and I'm excited.
That's awesome. When we talk about the adversity and trying 2 or 3 times, what did that feel like for you? And besides that little voice, or what did that little voice say to you that allowed you to keep going?
I will say that I truly believe God hears our prayers. And I believe one thing I always say as I pray, God, if you're not going to tell me the whole story, at least show me that you're here. So I feel like throughout the process, it was something that was telling me you're still on the right path. I remember when I did my master's program at Drexel University College of Medicine, right then and there, I applied again. I think that was the second time I applied. Okay. And I got my letter basically telling me, sorry, you didn't get in. I was so angry. And I just felt like a small voice telling me, you're going to get in. And then also maybe like a month later, the recruiter from University of Maryland, I think she got on the phone with me, and she was just like, okay, let's look at your application. Like, she literally sat down with me and was like, let's look over your application. What is going on? So that was one, I want to say a destiny helper. Yeah. And then I met another lady, Mrs. Johnson, who I did a summer program with. She literally sat with me to go over my personal statement. And I used to cry on the phone with her. I used to cry on the phone with her and just be like, I don't want to do that. Like, I just, at that moments where I didn't believe in myself, like, people were just like, I don't care. You need to get this done. Yeah. And in those moments of weakness, I had people to provide strength to me. So that's what I say was the thing that helped me keep going. There was always something on the path to remind me that you have to do this. So even though there was adversity, I didn't feel confident at times, there was just something in my spirit that really kept me going. Yeah.
I can definitely relate to the little voice in your head that just tells you to keep going and to keep pushing. Because that little voice is still in my head now saying keep going and keep pushing. Yeah. My life is nothing what I thought it would be. I feel like I used the word failure. Like, I have failed a lot of times. It wasn't necessarily failure. It was kind of what I needed to get to where I am now. Yeah. And I needed that little voice to say, Quita, girl, it's going to be okay. Just keep trying. Just keep pushing. And maybe what you think you want is not what you need right now. And so I had to learn that it's on God's timing and that he will not fail me. And I had to trust in that. And I will say now, I believe everything that I speak out loud has happened. And I keep a journal like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to work with this person. I'm going to do that. It has happened. And so it's very important that we listen to that voice and we trust ourselves. The fact that you had the voice at 13, I feel like is really impressive.
It's crazy.
Because I had the voice to like 20-something. And I'm like, where were you at 13?
I know. And that's one thing that people sometimes say to me. They're like, how did you know at that age you wanted to be a dentist?
Awesome.
And I'm like, I don't know. And there's one little story too. Now when I look back, I was one time in DC somewhere, like downtown. Mind you, I'm like, at this time I was maybe like 18, 19. And I was in DC and it was like high rises, beautiful high end area. And I felt God saying, you are going to live like this. And I was like, I don't know. Something in me was just like, I'm going to strive to really be successful, but then also remember that there was a power behind me telling me that this was the way to go. Yeah. Yeah.
I believe that. You're pulled in certain areas, and when you start saying and speaking it, all of a sudden you're doing the actions without necessarily realizing you're doing the actions. Yeah. I have noticed that as well. Because life be life sometimes. Like 18, where was I 18? I was in college. I know what I was doing. It's so crazy. I'm so impressed by you. At 18,
Yeah.
I had no idea what I wanted. I wanted to go to the Olympics. That was why. That was my focus. Was like, I'm going to go to the Olympics for the 400 hurdles, and I didn't know nothing else I wanted to do. But I got pregnant with Trey in college, and my whole life shifted. And so I just think it's really amazing that you were able to do that. One thing I've noticed in my life was at that moment at 18 of not knowing what I wanted to do, getting pregnant at a young age, I had community. I had community of people. I was in West Virginia. Girl, don't ask me how I got to West Virginia. We'll talk about that off the camera. I was in West Virginia.
Yes.
And I had a community of women. I went to a HBCU that helped me, that would take Trey while I studied
beautiful.
and would like have him in class, bring him to class, and they would do that for me. I'm going to shift to talking about the power of community, because what I've noticed with you, and I watch your Instagram and your content is good anyways, and even talking to you outside and behind the scenes, you're really big on women empowerment. You're really big on community and even mentorship. So talk to me a little bit about how that part has shaped who you are.
Wow, that's real deep. Okay.
We going there, girl.
It's funny because when I was younger, I had no community.
Really?
Yeah. So my parents were divorced, and as they were going through their experience, I was by myself a lot as a child. I can remember just being by myself, and I think that's where my relationship with God started, because I was by myself a lot. Dealing with my emotions as a child, 13, then going to college. I went to an HBCU. I went to Morgan State. Okay. So just a lot of time by myself trying to figure out who I was. And then my sophomore year in college, I started a nonprofit called Eager. Okay. Yes. So I started a nonprofit called Eager, and I don't know, at that time, I just wanted to pour into women or young girls at that time that were 13. Because when I was 13 years old, I did have a very traumatic experience that caused me to cause an increase in the isolation of myself. Okay. A little bit of depression, a little bit of anxiety, not feeling loved. There was a lot. I mean, looking back now, I know what it was. Yeah. But at that moment, I didn't know. I just knew I was struggling and I was by myself a lot, and just having really ungodly thoughts. But thank God, I had my mom, I had other people that came in every now and then to help me through it. So at 13, it was really a pivot moment for me. So when I was in college, I decided to start the Eager Mentoring Program. And I remember who I was at 13. I was very lost, didn't have support. Some families, they're a little bit different. For me, when I was younger at 13, I was by myself a lot. Yeah. My parents were at work, and I was just really, doing my chores, doing everything I needed to do as a child. But a lot of times I was by myself. And I did have little mentors, but again, by myself a lot. So when I was 13, I just wanted to do something for young women that I didn't have when I was 13. A mentor, someone to talk to me, someone to help me when I have my cycle, someone to help me with my beauty and my hair and my clothes and my fashion and who I was and my development. So I started the Eager Mentoring Program just as something small. So me and a group of college students, we would just go to a nearby school called Northeast Middle School, which is no longer there in Baltimore City. And we would just have sessions similar to what us women have when we have personal growth sessions, literally the same thing, but just for younger children. So we would just talk about, development, sisterhood, how to build friendships, things like that, to kind of cater to their needs at that time. So it was just something small for me. And then someone was like, you should make this a nonprofit. So another Destiny helper came by and was like, you need to think bigger. So the program is still running over 15, 20 years now. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And it's just so empowering. So now still there's middle school girls being mentored by college students at Morgan State. So that kind of got me here. So yeah, that's one of them. kind of forgot your question.
No, you have answered the question. You have answered your question in full circle.
Yes,
but then
yes.
it makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
And we talk about how our past, I said it before when we started, our past has shaped us to who we are today.
Mm-hmm.
Our experiences have shaped us into who we are today. Although those moments are not always the prettiest moments, they blossom into something beautiful. Hence, we're sitting on this couch today,
Yes.
sharing those experiences and sharing with the world that we don't have to look like what we've been through, and we're able to utilize those experiences to help other women. I was just talking about, now we're going to talk about me a little bit. I was just talking about, I was just talking about when with my husband, actually. Hi, husband. I was just talking about me struggling with depression in the beginning of when I had Trey. But I didn't know what that was. So when you said, like, I didn't know what it was, and I'm like, I didn't know what it was either. I'm like, you're supposed to have the baby and then take care of the baby and do all the things, right? And the cute outfits. And then I'm like, I'm not happy. Why am I not? And I struggled. So we were talking about that last night. But when I started the Chi Quita Mack, initially, I was helping women rediscover themselves after childbirth, because that's something that I had gone through and didn't know what it was. And I wanted women, especially in our community, to know what it was. So it's just crazy how we go through the thing that's not always the best thing. But again, something beautiful comes out of that.
And even going back to the still small voice, a lot of time it comes at night when you're about to go to bed.
Yes, ma'am.
But you have to discern. There's a lot of voices that are going to be talking to you before you go to bed, because you're letting everything. You're relaxing.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the day. You're thinking about conversations that you liked and didn't like. You're thinking about things that you want to pursue, or things that are not going well, or things that just everything. That is a very sensitive time. I feel like for all people.
I do.
And I truly believe at that time is a time where you really want to create a space for yourself where you hear good things and you want things that will empower you in your day-to-day. So I have a ritual.
Let's talk about it. What's the ritual?
Another thing that I think helps me become a very successful woman is just spending time with God and really finding time to just re-energize my soul, because on a day-to-day you're pouring out, you're talking to people, you're depositing your energy to people, you're trying to empower people, because you're called to do these things.
Hey y'all, come join me this September 12th at the Westin at the National Harbor for the From Breakthrough to the Bank brunch. Get your tickets down below.
But you have to replenish, and you also have to seek instruction for the next thing, right? While you're in something, you should always be thinking about the next move.
Yes.
But in a healthy way. Because sometimes boss chicks, girl, we be thinking about something 10 years from now, we be, you become burnt out.
Yes, been there.
But you still should have some type of spiritual thing that you do. So me, every day, I try to do 10 minutes of prayer, maybe 10 minutes of journaling, and then just listening to worship music. So these things, this regimen that I have done has really helped me. I didn't do it so much before I was a business owner, but I think as you start to grow your business or your identity, more issues come. More money, more problems.
Yeah,
they say.
I agree.
I truly believe that. More money, more problems. So, within the last 4 years, I had to. It wasn't even came to me. It's like, oh, I'm going to start doing, nah.
Yeah.
It was because something brought me to my knees where it was just like, okay, God, you brought me to this success of level or level of success. And I'm struggling even more. There was a time where I was very successful, and I just wasn't happy. How am I successful? People love me. People are vouching for me, and I just wasn't happy. But it was something in me that I had to work on. But I was so grateful because it shifted my spirit and my light, and then I started attracting better women, better men, better business partners, better just community. So I think I always tell women that are doing business, work on yourself. You have to. If you want to get to a level of success where you're actually happy and you're inspired and empowered and really moving in your purpose, you have to work on yourself.
Absolutely.
Because whatever is in you, you're going to radiate and you're going to bring that to yourself. So you're always going to ask yourself, why do I keep meeting people that are not good? Why do I keep meeting business people that are trying to steal my money? Why do I keep people that are manipulative? It's something that we're not working on, you know, or why when I get around successful women, I feel jealous or feel inadequate.
Yeah.
And these are some of the emotions that people go through and they don't know why. So I think as business women and women that want to accomplish more things and get to the next level, it's a lot of inner work. Don't forget the inner work.
Yep.
It's so amazing to make sure you have the contracts and make sure that you're using ChatGPT for everything and
Chat it up.
you know, making sure that you got your emails, you got your clients, you know, you're setting up your meetings and, you know, you're sealing deals. That's great. But we do have to spend time on ourselves too, to really radiate at a higher frequency to bring in quality women. And I'm in a lot of women groups. One that I just joined that I have to talk about is the Bow Collective.
I knew you were going to say, I just saw you at the conference.
Honey.
It looked amazing.
Yes.
It looked
Oh
absolutely
my
amazing.
God. It is one, I have to talk about it
Yes.
because it is one, it's something I prayed for. Just women that were so secure, women that were so empowering, lovely within and out, women that knew what they were talking about. You know, they're walking what they're talking, right? They are just of good character, and just the love that was happening during the conference, which just happened in February. I just got inducted. It was everything I needed. And even every morning during the conference, we prayed. You know, every time, you know, it was, and it's Christian based. So I don't know, for me, that made it the world to me because I knew that that's a big part of my business and how I am successful. So joining that organization is amazing. I mean, and I think a year ago, I probably would have been ready, you know? So I believe in timing and just consistently working on yourself. So when that time arrives and you meet women like this, or just the next space of your life of, you know, the level you're in, you're ready. But I mean, the Bow Collective has been just inspiring to me, just to meet older women that I'm like, oh, I want to be chic as you, Joe. Like,
tell me your
you
ways.
know, just amazing people. And I just look up to them. So I'm just so excited to be a part of that community. And I'm a part of a lot of other women groups too, but I must say the Bow Collective stands out to me for sure. Yeah.
Love it.
Yes.
I do. I want to take it back a little bit and let's talk about happiness real quick. Because you stated you were successful, but you weren't necessarily happy. So, Lord, happiness. I feel like, because I didn't learn that. That's like lesson, what we're going to give it a number, less than 150.
Yes,
right? Because at one point, I believed y'all was supposed to make me happy.
Ooh, child.
Girl,
you better stop
I
right
did.
There.
We being honest.
Ooh, child.
I literally felt like it was everyone else's responsibility to make me happy. And I wasn't happy, duh. What's wrong with me? But I thought that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand why all the things why. It's your job to make me happy. You need to blah, blah. Where I got that from, girl, we talk about that later.
Yeah.
And I had to learn through therapy, girl, I had to go sit on the couch, that I was responsible for my own happiness.
Absolutely.
Duh, right? It's like common sense now, but then I didn't believe that. So as you went through that transition of I'm successful, but I'm not necessarily happy. Did you find out the why to that?
Oh, absolutely. Because I'm trying to be happy, Joe. I got to be happy, okay? I can't be looking this good. Happy, Joe.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I had to go back to my childhood trauma.
Yeah.
I did. I had to heal the little girl that wasn't loved the way she needed to. And it's no bash against my parents. They just didn't know. I mean, I was a child, and you know, there's a culture thing. So anybody that's from West Africa knows that. You know, a child coming from Ghana, it's just something that they're not that's not just how they're raised, you know? And it's okay because they instilled other things in me, working hard, being respectful, you know, being honest, you know, staying the course no matter what. So although they didn't give me maybe the lovey-dovey feeling that I needed as a child, I was able to later on discover what I needed and gave it to myself. So yeah, I had to do a lot of therapy, a lot of therapy. I had to do a lot of prayer, a lot of just going back to myself when I was a child and what was missing and what happened. Because I would go home, I would go to work real hard, and I would go home and just be sad.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, okay.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah, but when I'm at work, you know, I'm on high energy. I'm talking. I'm moving in my office. I'm talking to patients, solving their problems, talking to my team, hyping them up. I'm at 10 at work, you know. But then when I came home, back to that, you know, that small time before you go to bed, I was just really sad. Yeah. And I had to figure out what was going on. So I had to... and then, you know, sometimes you feel like, oh, I need to be in a relationship. That will help me. And then when that person disappoints you, you're even sad.
What happened?
I know.
You didn't fix it.
Yeah, this guy didn't fix it. So, so I had to go back and find out what was going on. So I had to do a lot of childhood trauma therapy, like particularly that. And it really freed me up. Yeah. It freed me up so much. And... yeah, it was just so dynamic for me. I needed that. Yeah. And now through that healing, I wouldn't say I'm not depressed. I don't think I'm depressed, but I have sad moments. Like if something happens,
of course,
it's a byproduct. But I will say this, it's shorter now. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, I'm sad. I'm not feeling well. Oh, okay, well, I'm about to go out.
Let's do it.
Or I'm like, okay, well, I'll pray about it, put it on my prayer list. I have like a little wall of stickies of just prayers where I'm like, okay, God, you know, help me with this. And I love every time I'm getting dressed, I see the stickies and I'm like, okay, God's still working on that. So just healing that and then finding new tools to deal with disappointment because it's going to come. Pain is always still going to come. It's part of the process of life. But I just think of God just being close to me during those times. There's a Bible verse, God is close to the wounded. Yes. So I always remind myself that in those moments, the pain, don't focus so much on the pain and try to remember that God is still there. Yeah. And that's a new technique that I've been trying to learn or master, that those times where my heart is heavy, that it's only for this moment. Yes. It's only for this moment and it's going to pass. And I hold on to that. But I think a lot of people should tap into their childhood trauma for sure.
Thank you.
Because it's always like this little girl that never got love, that when you're not realizing your lens as an adult is still seeing the lens from a child. Yes. So these things are hurting you, but it's literally pain from the past. In addition to, so someone has triggered a past pain and it's, like, you know, causing you to show up in a certain way and you're not realizing the connection. So when now as an adult, when those pains come, I'm able to identify it and say, okay, God, this person triggered a childhood trauma of mine, but I know they don't mean it, you know, because they have their own stuff too.
Yes.
So it's just realizing that, praying about that person, and it, depending on the relationship level, whether it's a business partner, even my team, sometimes I have to tell them, hey, this is something I really don't like. You know, I will prefer that you show up like this. And, you know, depending on the relationship, you can be vulnerable and share, or just provide to them a better way of interacting with you. I think people call it boundaries. I try not to use that word, but just standards you would like to live by and how standards you will want them to communicate with you. So childhood trauma, yes, please.
Get it done.
Get it done, child.
Get it done. So I'm so happy. Look, we're rocking and rolling because this is awesome. No, so when you come to the Chi Quita Mack. And they say, I want to do all the great things. I'm like, that's so dope. I'm going to help you. But we start with my HEAL framework, which is honesty, expression, awareness, and light. Because I believe the same thing. We're going to get to the light. Girl, I'm going to get you to the light. I got you.
Yes.
But we have to heal first. And so we spend time doing the inner work before we get to all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like it's so important to do. All of my trauma all came from my childhood. It did. It came from my childhood. I not being as affectionate, not having self-confidence, not feeling beautiful, feeling out of place. All of those things came from my childhood. And not knowing how to express myself. I was very quiet. I'm still an introvert, believe it or not. I am.
I don't believe that.
I am. Girl, listen. When you were talking, you were saying, like, I'm at work and I'm doing all the things. I'm having all the meetings. I'm doing this. When you were saying that, in my mind, I'm like, me too, but I'm also very uncomfortable. I'm doing all the things. I'm having all the conversations. We're interacting. I'm like, yes, this is great. I get home. I'm in the car. I'm like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Because all day I had to operate, to me, outside of my comfort zone. I'd rather be by myself.
Wow.
Girl, give me my computer. I got to. But at the same time, I know that everything that I've gone through is not to sit in the back.
But let's look at it differently. Why won't we just say that is a part of you? That's still a part of you.
It is.
Yeah. So I want to say, because sometimes like I'm just so uncomfortable, but that is a part of you. Yeah. I feel like as women, we have so many different dimensions and just loving on them. Because I'm kind of like that too. I enjoy being on stage, I call it. When I'm on stage doing my thing.
It's so much fun.
Yes, but
after I'm going to bed.
Some of my girlfriends know I need time. Like, I need to pull back and like, I enjoy being in my space, doing my journaling, praying, being in my little cocoon. Everybody knows. I think majority of my close friends know that about me. Arlene, if she's not responding or she's like not out, I'm like probably in my prayer closet, just trying to re-energize because I put a lot out in this world as far as the energy and who I am. So I have to come back and replenish myself. So, but yeah, I get what you mean. Like sometimes you're out on stage, I call it, and then you're just nervous. You're like, nervous that the act is going to go bad, the play is going to be bad. But yeah, it's so great to know that you have so many dimensions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can get it done now. But y'all got, give me my 48 hours to get my life back together. And then I want to go do it again. But
nice.
I'm just telling you, girl, I need my I need my my time. I just really do. You're very inspiring.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You're very inspiring. Your story's inspiring. I want to say to the audience that's listening out there is what I want you to take from part of what we just talked about is being successful women, but talking about healing and trauma and therapy. I think that's important for our community to hear. I will be very transparent. I was afraid to go to therapy myself, being a Black woman.
Okay.
I was. And I had to deal with that. That came from my childhood too. Girl!
Now, don't just be saying everything be childhood.
No, it did because in my household is you don't tell people your business and don't be talking about me to other people bad. And I'm not trying to talk about you bad. I'm just telling you what I went through. But literally that was how my family was. You don't talk about things outside of these walls. You don't share that with anybody. You kind of just endure. And so I struggled. I'm happy I went. The Lord changed my life.
Yeah.
I'm happy I went. But I did struggle with that. So those listening, please, therapy, do the work, do the inner work. It's the only way I feel to continue to be successful.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, I think it's very, even though we frown upon the word transactional, but it's such a transactional thing.
Yeah.
Invest in thyself and, purify yourself. You're going to produce more and you're going to be able to be even more successful because now you're clear-minded as you're making better deals. You're more clear-minded when you connect with people and know who to do business with and who not to. Or it's so much clarity when the baggage is left behind. Yeah. You're able to travel even further if we look at it in that way. Because when we're carrying these bags, they're literally holding us down for better relationships if you're seeking that. better business partners, if you're seeking that, better opportunities. Because sometimes your insecurities can be the same thing that stops you because of that baggage and that childhood trauma. It really stops you from seeing clearly. Yeah. So as a businesswoman, even though I had the success, I wasn't happy. That was going to stop me if I didn't sit back, pause, and really figure out what was going on. And I'm so forever grateful for that. And even today, I still do it. And yeah, it's been amazing. I always tell women, like, yeah, you're this businesswoman and you're doing great. You got your Chanel on, and trust me, I love all that. You got Louis Vuitton. I'm that girl. Like I'm that girl. Okay, I am. So I'm not even like downplaying it. Yes, I'm that girl. I get my hair done every 2 weeks. I get my nails. Like I'm that girl. But I do sit down and I work on. I want my inner self to look just as fly as my outer self.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I agree. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. It's just I never want to be the woman that I do it before, but people that made me feel down, and I never want to be that. It's just I want to pour and give as much as I can and help. I want to help.
But we forgive those women because they just wasn't in the right place internally.
That's true.
And I still meet women like that sometimes, and I just know this is not my tribe.
Yeah.
And I'm good.
Yeah.
And that's it. And but again, if you stay the course, your tribe will come. Because even as I'm doing this transition, especially when I became a businesswoman, some friends, they just couldn't stand with me.
Girl.
They couldn't.
Yes.
It was just and I love them. Like I truly do. It's just where I am now, what I need is different. The old Arlene doesn't need those type of friendships anymore. I need a different type of friendship. And we forgive those women that are there, and we pray that they continue on their journey. But my journey is turning, this way. And sometimes it could be very hurtful because we expect as Black women that we all similarly have the same foundation. But unfortunately, when we take another look, we realize we're not on the same frequency. So you got to make a shift.
Yeah, I agree. I went through that too.
You say peace.
Listen, bye. But it was very hurtful.
Yeah,
it was I was like, how? I didn't do anything. Did I do something? Then I'm thinking about what did I do? And I had to realize it's not you. They're not meant to go with you. Keep going. Keep following the path. Keep doing what you do. And you can't bring everybody else. And that's okay.
And I've had some friends that in this season, maybe they weren't good match for me, but they came back around and did their own work. And for me, I'm very forgiving, and I'm always willing to reconcile. But we have little boundaries.
Girl, you better than me. I'm like, nah. Sorry.
You're like, nah, girl. I remember when you didn't.
Because you did some stuff, and now I had to deal with that. And here we go again.
It's whatever your comfort is,
Yes,
and it's whatever. But I do say sometimes. Time passes and there may be a good opportunity for them to be in your life, and then sometimes it's just not it, and it's okay. Yeah, but I think as women we should do it with love and kindness.
Absolutely.
And just leave it what it is. I think when we're catty and nasty, which definitely happens, especially in DC,
this area.
They know who they are. Anyway.
If you're listening,
I know. So just being peaceful about it, just be like, okay, it's all good. And you go about your way. You don't have to be nasty about it. Yeah. But, I think some people get power in being nasty. Like, it's a power thing for you. But if they only knew that it's actually very nasty. It's actually
draining. Yeah. To be that way, I think.
Yeah.
As well.
And just, you don't get power. You actually look like a clown.
Yeah. I'm looking at you like I'm not gonna even engage.
Yeah, I'm not gonna even engage
with you.
I just right. See you later. I'm gonna go ahead and be over here with the light.
Because we need the light. Yes, we're operating ultimately in our light. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
You have been absolutely amazing today. And again, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for sitting on the couch with me. This has been awesome. can you please let the audience know where they can find you, connect with you, and even come to the practice, girl? Like, let's talk about it.
Yes. We're accepting new patients. Again, I am Dr. Arlene Asante. You can find me on Instagram at DRARLENE ASANTE. You can also find me on Facebook, TikTok, and I said Instagram. All three of those platforms, same thing, DRARLENE ASANTE.
Yes.
Oh, and then if you're looking for a dentist, you can find us at 7201 Wisconsin Avenue. Our office is called First Class Smiles, where we create a first class experience.
Yes. So go get her now. Now. Thank you again.
Yes.
I will link all of her information in the show notes so you can connect. Listen, y'all, if you are listening wherever you are streaming this podcast, I need you to leave a review. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. All right, you guys, until next time.